do better than that because we could try and wake everybody up. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Huzzah! So much better.
Awesome.
So the question was, what skills do you need to be a voice actor? And the second part? How do you learn those skills?
Just trying to be a voice actor. I don't think any of us set out saying, I just want to do voice acting. We said, I want to be an actor, and voice acting is one of the many ways that you can pay the bills to become a working actor, which is the name of the game. So taking acting classes, that doesn't mean like just taking one theater class. That's taking improv classes. That's taking film classes, because now that motion capture is happening, you have a million sensors on your face, and you have to learn to create a character differently than you would in a booth. In a booth, it's fine if you make crazy facial expressions and use your hands a lot. In motion capture, all of that comes out, and it's very distracting in a game. So that's when some of the film training comes into play and becomes useful, because your eyes are working and they can get that. Also with prelay, when they're videotaping you, they're going to take some of your facial expressions and put that into the animated character. So any chance that you get to take any class, or working in radio, working as many different skill sets as you can, learning as many different things about the business. I think one of the most important things that an actor can have a skill set of just going into being an actor is being a person with a very open mind, because you're going to meet a million directors who are going to have very different ways that they like to do things, and it might be unlike the last 15 directors that you've worked with, and your job as the actor is to go in and be clay that they can mold for the character. So having an open mind, you never want to say like, well, that's never how I've done it before. You go, okay, this will be different, this will be a challenge, but because of all the classes I've taken, I can use this muscle, I can try this different thing. So every day you go in is an adventure, and you might not be able to do the character how you had in your head. So you have to be willing to mold it, you have to have an open mind, be very open and receptive to whatever they're going to give you. And that is ultimately how you can become an actor, because you don't want to shut down any opportunities. So you want to be as receptive and happy and outgoing, and also be proud of what you do. You're not always going to get the job, but if you go in with the integrity of, I got to act today, and this is the way I want to play this character. I connect with this character. I love this character. I'm proud of the work I do. If you get the job or not, you can walk out saying, I did my best. And I think that is, you have to love this business and love being an actor. And those are the two things that I think are most important, other than just being an actor, just personality traits.
What's the best way for a bright-eyed indie game developer to approach actors about being involved in one of their projects?
Just approach them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we can
Actors
actually
always
see
want
you.
to be asked to work,
I'm blind, though.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, actors always love to be asked to do stuff and be approached, and if it's something that they'd like to be involved with, they'll get involved with it,
And try and have as much of your ducks in a row as possible when you ask.
And don't be afraid that if an actor says, I'm going to forward this to my agent, a lot of people say like, oh, I don't want to get involved in an agent. We sometimes have to go through an agent just because we have to make sure we can block out the time. So don't think of that as like a no, or okay, I'm not going to deal with them. That's what we have to make sure that we're doing, so that the agent doesn't double book us and we can make sure to do the project. So sometimes we can do it without, sometimes we have to go through them.
For voice acting, where'd you guys first start?
Well, I first started, actually, my wife got me into this. I went to LA to be an on-camera actor, and I did a lot of that. I did a lot of soaps and television and film stuff. Ellyn was working on a project, and the people
I was doing a film.
She was doing a film, and they had another film that they didn't like the actors in. They wanted to replace the voices, and were having auditions, and she, they asked her to come and audition. She said, could she bring her boyfriend, who was me? And the guy said to me, have you done this before? I said, oh, I've done it 1,000,000 times. I never did it before in my life. And I went in and I took to it like a duck to water. Was dubbing, because I'm also a drummer, and there's a rhythm to this stuff too. So I was an actor and a drummer. So the combination, I think if you have any kind of a musicality or musical background, it really kind of helps you, particularly in dubbing, not so much in the original animation stuff, but in the other stuff, it really does help. So I got that, and we both booked the job, and then from that they loved us and kept putting us in other stuff, and from that we both got into Robotech and then just started working all the time. So
I've been so thrilled that my chest has seized in the booth. What? No, yeah, really. Like because Mako from Kill la Kill is really, really energetic, and she's always screaming. So I took in air, and then I guess to speak more, because she had a really long monologue, and it's like yelled the whole time. So I had to breathe in again, and I guess I pulled something in my chest, and I thought, like, this is a heart attack. This is what heart attacks are. And then I, like, fell to the floor, and the director was like, oh, my God. And then we had to stop for a little bit, and I had to rest, but it was fine.
Did Alex direct Kill la Kill?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Alex
poor
just
guy.
told me, you're probably just, like, out of shape. Maybe you should, like, go take the stairs next time or something. I don't know. Yeah.
My God, that's a total Alex thing to do.
But he was so serious, like, not even joking. He really-
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
You have one?
Well, I was directing this show called Samurai X. Do you remember it? Richard and I were both directing it, and there was one other director on it. It was a particularly warm day in the studio, and apparently the air wasn't working.
Oh, no.
And so I went in, and this director wasn't wearing any clothes.
Oh, my gosh.
It wasn't pretty.
So I went into the office manager, and I said, He's not wearing any clothes, Mariana. She, no, he took off his clothes. I said, yeah, Mariana, he's not wearing any clothes. Oh, no. She was afraid to say anything to him.
Oh, no.
I went in there, Mike, put on your clothes. He goes, what are you talking about? I'm just leaving. So he left.
Is he going to a nudist colony?
I didn't ask.
Well, the same guy, Mike, I was in a booth with him. We were doing Walla, and Walla's just background ambiance sound, where you're like in a restaurant, for example, and the people in the background are talking. That's Walla. Or you're in an airport and you hear the stuff going on in the background. That's Walla. So we were doing some Walla for a movie, and I was with this guy, Mike, and this other guy, Cy, and it was just the three of us, and we were in a booth the size of this table, really tiny.
Oh, wow.
And Mike had really bad gas that day.
He generally did.
He generally does. I don't know what the hell. I think he eats bad eggs or something. But he let one rip like every minute. And then he would laugh, and the other guy would laugh like a hyena when this happened. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm in hell. This is what hell is. And so when I got out, the client took me aside. He said, oh, you're in there with the gas man and the village idiot. So.
Sounds like a fun time.
No, wasn't.
I was wondering, I know, Lauren, you just said your dad was supportive of but I was wondering, like, if all your family, like, for all of you, if your family was supporting of your voice acting career?
My mom at first was not. She's from the Philippines, and she worked really, really hard to get here. She came from nothing. Like, they built their own house in the slums, and now she owns, like, 3 businesses.
How cool.
Like, they're all, like, medical businesses, and our whole family is, like, nurses and doctors, and obviously she wanted me to either take over the family business or to become a nurse or a doctor. And I just, in my heart, I felt like that was not something that I wanted to do. Like, it didn't resonate with me. I knew I would be unhappy, so I pursued this instead, and it broke her heart at first. But then once she found out that I could be successful in this, she is like behind me all the way. She has like my characters as her background on her iPhone now. So she's supporting me all the way now.
You know, but the reality is that I think you should do what you love.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because there's so many people that try to do a job to make a living and they're miserable. And I've had friends who have gotten engineering degrees because they thought, oh, well, I'll be set for life, I'll be an engineer, and then they got laid off by their companies. So there's no guarantee in life for anything. So you might as well do something you enjoy and that you love, because that's going to propel you and that's going to feed you. So, you know, and if you do well at it, then, you know, that's even better. But at least you're doing something you enjoy.
Was your family supportive of it, Cherami?
I was incredibly fortunate that my parents, like you said, did not want me to do it as a child because they had done it. It was a very hard business. But they put me to the test and took me to an open call audition for a movie to prove to me how hard it could be. There were 3,000 people at the audition. I made it down to the top 10, and my mom's goal was, I'm going to show her the hardest scenario for a day, and if she still wants to do it, then she really has an idea of what she's getting herself into. And after that, my parents have been very, very supportive. I was told if I didn't get cast in a role when I was 5 and 6 years old, I was allowed to cry for a couple of hours, and then I had to bounce back because they were not going to let this business destroy me. If it was going to destroy me, I had to get out. So I had to be able to do other things outside of acting. I had to do dance. I had to do other hobbies so it didn't consume my life. But yeah, my parents are very supportive. My mom comes to conventions with me, and she's here with me this weekend. And she makes sure that I get everything done, that I'm taking care of myself. My dad is super supportive. And I would not have been able to continue in this business because, like they said, sometimes money is tight, and my parents know that they believe in me, they believe in what I can do, and I will put in the work, and they'll loan me the money, and I'll pay them back. And I mean, I've been very, very fortunate. I know that's not always the case for a lot of actors, so I'm very grateful that was the family that I got, and they embraced this journey with me.
I did not have the kind of journey that any of these ladies or Richard had. My mother was absolutely opposed to my doing it. She had a mathematical accountant's kind of a mind, and she wanted me to be a teacher. And that wasn't going to be my journey. And when you want something so badly, you don't allow anyone to deter you. And it didn't deter me. I just dug my heels in, and I just kept going on my path. So if you want something, it doesn't matter whether someone wants you to do it or doesn't want you to do it. It's about how much you want it. And if you want something in this business, you have to want it that badly, because there is so much competition out there that you have to want it that badly so you can be that ferocious in your determination and your